What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cap Show. NFL season is starting off, baby. It is the best time of the year. It's time to make the millions. Let's get it. Let's first and foremost start off with the Thursday night game, the Buffalo Bills versus the LA Rams. Shout out to the LA Rams. They are the Super Bowl defending champions for a reason. Aaron Donald, the best defensive player in the league, hands down. Yes, he did get an altercation with the Bengals out of practice, swinging his helmet. I think just tensions were high. Look, I don't think he needs to do any suspension. We're talking about practice here. Shout out to AI. Yes, practice. This isn't a game. We're talking about practice, but I think the LA Rams, they're in a nice spot here. Sean McVay, heck of a coach. Yes, Odell Beckham isn't back right now, which is a downside, but I still think the Rams are a nice squad. So them coming into this game at home, underdogs, Bills are 2.5-point favorites. It does kind of surprise me. One thing is dealing with the Buffalo Bills. They have a lot of hype coming into this offseason. They are the preseason favorite to win it all. It makes sense. Josh Allen, he's a baller, but everything weighs in on Josh Allen. I mean, everything does. If you guys want to win a Super Bowl, it's on Josh Allen. I think the Buffalo Bills defense is coming around. They did sign Von Miller, $100+ million contract, which is really smart for the Buffalo Bills. I just think, what else do they have? They need to add more pieces on offense, I think, in a way, but nothing to take away from Josh Allen. He's a heck of a football player, one of the most improved players that I saw in the past couple years coming into this league. But I will say one thing, it's hard to say that all Buffalo Bills are so much better than, let's say, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't see that much of a skill difference right now. So I think Vegas sees something else right now to say, hey, Buffalo Bills are the team to win it all. And that makes sense right now. I just think, adding Von Miller is a huge plus. I just think coming into this game, it's such a coin flip game to me. I do think, in a way, yes, the Buffalo Bills have more momentum coming into this, but still, it's like, the LA Rams, they just won a Super Bowl. They're not really everything right now. We do have the Super Bowl hungover, all that stuff, but I just think for Matt Stafford coming in this year, this season right now, been in the league for a while, I just think this is the most important year. There was some issues with his throwing elbow. He says that's not a problem, but this is a huge year for Matthew Stafford because I think a lot of the pressure isn't on the Rams defense. It isn't on the receivers and Cooper Kupp. What a season he had last year. I just think for Matthew Stafford right now, everything's on him. All the pressure's on Matthew Stafford to perform well, which I do think he will elevate to that success. I just think for another Rams repeat, it's a long shot right now. It's hard to repeat in the NFL. It's tough, but if the Rams can do it, this is the team. They got talent to do it from all across the board, from Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, the defensive players, the star-studded players on that side. And then, like I said, Cooper Kupp, what a player. I mean, what a fantasy player. He's definitely a first-round in fantasy picks across the world, dude. Everybody loves Cooper Kupp, and this guy, he can put up crazy numbers. He can score on any time, any moment. So I think for the Rams right now, I think this bet right here is it's really kind of a suck bet to me in a way, to say, oh, the LA Rams are going to blow out the Buffalo Bills, vice versa. I think this game is going to come down to the wire. I think whoever's going to have the ball last is going to win this game. It's hard for me to pick. I think the first month of NFL picks are tough. They really are, because we don't know what team's going to come out. Are they in rhythm? Are they in mid-season to late season form? Or do they look nice? It's just tough to decide, but I'd say right now I'd give the edge to the Bills, but at the same time, it's hard to bet against the Rams at home. The season opener, winning the Super Bowl this past year, beating the Cincinnati Bengals in the Super Bowl. I mean, dude, everything just lined up for the Rams to succeed here, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams do get the upset here. I would not be surprised. I think Matthew Stafford's going to come out to play. I think the Rams are going to come out to play. Same thing with the Bills. I just give a slight edge to the dogs right now, so I'm going to go the Rams. I might change this pick come game time, but right now I'm leaning more towards the Rams with the upset pick in this game. And then we got my Indianapolis Colts versus the Houston Texans. My Indianapolis Colts, this is a huge year for you guys. We do understand we did miss the playoffs last year in a horrible way. We should have won easily our last two games of the season. We lost them both to Jacksonville and the Las Vegas Raiders. It was a disaster. I mean, Carson Wentz, he's a subpar quarterback at best. I think Matt Ryan coming in for the Colts. Yes, he is in his late 30s. He is towards the end of his career, but I will tell you, he's a gamer. I think he's way better than Carson Wentz, and I do think he's going to lead this team to a playoff berth. I really do believe that. And not to mention Jonathan Taylor, the best running back last year. I think he's going to come back and have another great season this year. I think the Colts need to be a run-first offense here. Get the running game going. And that's what they didn't do in the last 2 games of the season last year to make the playoffs. So there's some mental mistakes here and there. Reggie Wayne's our receivers coach. I think the Colts, they got everything going for them. Michael Pittman Jr., hey, one of the best receivers we got, probably our number 1 guy right now. I think, the Colts, they're ready to go. 7-point favorites here. I would go Colts in this matchup. I really would. I love the Colts. I'll take the spread here. It was 8 points about a week ago. Now it's switched to 7. I just think the Colts with Matt Ryan, what they got going, I like them. And the Colts defense have a sound defense. I just think everything from the linebackers to the D-ends, I think the Colts are ready to go this year. I cannot wait to see what holds for them. But, the Texans, Mills is their starting quarterback. I just think, the money line for the Texans is plus 270. That wouldn't be bad, but at the end of the day, the Colts are the better team, and I'm betting on the better team here, the Indianapolis Colts. They're going to start off 1-0. Then they're going to play Jacksonville next week. I cannot wait, but my Indianapolis Colts, Matt Ryan, he's got to start off fast. Start off throwing the ball deep, get in the flow of midseason flow, and I think, the Colts and Matt Ryan, they're going to do great things. So I like the Colts 7-point spread here. 46 is the over-under. I like the over as well. I think the Colts are going to put up 30-plus points, so go with the over. Go with the Colts at 7. I like those picks. And then we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Dallas Cowboys with the Sunday Night Football game. I think this is going to be an epic game. Tampa Bay's coming in 2.5-point favorites. I do believe this is the GOAT. Tom Brady's last year in the NFL, no doubt about it. I think this is it for him. I really do, and he's so old now. What is he, 44, 45? It's like, dude, you can't play this game forever. He's been in the game over 2 decades. Nothing to hold against Tom Brady. He's the GOAT, 7-time Super Bowl winning champion. Like, what more do you need from Tom Brady? And a lot of people got on him for missing a couple weeks at training camp or something. It's like, stop it, dude. We're talking about the GOAT here. He's got 7 Super Bowl championships, okay? He has the leverage to miss a couple practices here, okay? It's Tom Brady after all, okay? So, but this is not going to affect his play. I think the Bucs are going to come out and play him nice. Leonard Fournette, I expect him to have a big year at running back. Signed him to a 3-year deal. Then you got Mike Evans. Got some other players coming back from injuries. Yes, they are missing Rob Gronkowski. And a huge question mark for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is their offensive line. Are they going to protect Tom Brady? Are they going to give Tom Brady time and leverage to throw the ball down the field? That's a big question mark. But I do believe if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers line does show up this year, Tampa Bay is clear, could be favorites to win it all. I mean, we cannot count out Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They do have similar defensive players coming back on that defense and only getting better. So I think, the Bucs right here would make sense to go Bucs. Now, on the flip side, we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Another disappointing season last year, another disappointing playoff run. Dak Prescott and Zeke, this is their biggest years of their career. We understand that Zeke had a terrible season last year. He was not hungry. It looked like he didn't really even want to play. But I did pick up Zeke in my fantasy draft this year because I do think Zeke is going to have a bounce-back year. I think he's going to have a comeback player of the year. I think he's going to rush for over 1,000-plus yards. I really do believe that. I'm not just blowing smoke here. And I think for Dak Prescott, this is a huge year for him. I think for Dak Prescott, if he loses again yet in the playoffs, I mean, what is he another Tony Romo 2.0? That's what I do believe Dak Prescott is. He's a Tony Romo 2.0 to me. I mean, he wins games in the regular season, but when it comes down to it, in the playoffs against San Francisco 49ers, what happened? Who can we blame? Do we blame the coaching staff? I just think it goes down from the coaching staff to Dak. I don't see Dak Prescott winning a Super Bowl with the Cowboys. I just don't see it at all. I really don't, but I think they're going to have a big year. But I'm going to go Tampa Bay. I'd love to see the Dallas Cowboys get the dub, but I think Tampa Bay and Tom Brady is going to be angry. They're going to be ready to go, and I think they're going to win by a couple touchdowns in Dallas. So I cannot wait for this. 50 is the over-under. That's a little tricky one. I would typically go with the over in this matchup. I think both have great offenses. They're going to throw the ball out, air it out, but I love the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady to get the dub. And then we got the New Orleans Saints versus the Atlanta Falcons. Look, Saints are 5.5-point favorites. They got a new head coach, Dennis Allen, coming in. And I think with Jameis Winston coming back, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas is back from his injury. I do think the Saints are going to be good this year. I do think they can make the playoffs this year as well. Absolutely. I think it depends on their defense. Is their defense going to be nice? I just think for Atlanta, they got Marcus Mariota, a whole new young squad here. got rid of Matty Ice. I think Julio Jones. I think Atlanta's definitely a new a new team here. I just think overall I'm going with the Saints here. New Orleans Saints at 5.5. I might even go money line Saints, but I just think the Saints right now with Jameis Winston. Yes, Jameis, when he came into the league, he had, ups and downs, 30 touchdowns one season. I do think Winston, he's familiar with the New Orleans Saints, the program, what they bring. I just think, Jameis Winston's going to have a good game, and that's why I'm ultimately going the New Orleans Saints. I think Kamara's going to have a good game as well. 42 is the over-under. That's a tricky bet, but I do like the Saints in this matchup. I think the Atlanta Falcons are too new right now. They're still trying to find out who they are, to whereas, the Saints, they have a lot of similar players coming back. They know each other. They're familiar, so I like the Saints in this matchup at 5.5. And then we got the San Francisco 49ers at the Chicago Bears. I think this is the most interesting game all weekend. I really do. I mean, you have the San Francisco 49ers who signed Jimmy G to a one-year deal, was going to release Jimmy G, was going to start Trey Lance. Now they're back and forth. I think they're going to go with Jimmy G right now. I just think for the Bears, it's like Justin Fields. Is he the guy to lead the Chicago Bears to a Super Bowl? That's ultimately the question. Can he lead them to a Super Bowl victory? I think Justin Fields, he's still young. He's early in his career. I just think the Bears right now, they got to figure out who they are on defense as well. I think the weapons on offense is going to come. Justin Fields, he's got to become a pass-first quarterback instead of a run. I think, this game, it does clearly say to me, hey, go San Francisco all day in this matchup, but there's something that tells me that the Bears could easily jump off to a quick start and really take over this game. And I think it starts with Justin Fields. I believe in Justin Fields. I think he can throw the ball down the field. I think at the offensive line for the Bears, give him time. I think this is going to be a nail-biter. I would not go San Francisco 7. I'd go San Francisco money line, but ultimately, I think I'm going to go with the upset pick. I'm going to go the Bears. The Bears. I'm going the Bears here. I think Justin Fields is going to have a breakout game. The receivers are going to get open. I think the 49ers are going to start off slow, dealing with all the, off-season stuff with Jimmy G. What are they going to do? I like the Chicago Bears with the upset pick. And then we got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals coming to this game 6.5-point favorites. It makes sense to me. They were in the Super Bowl. They were underdogs. They barely lost to the Rams. I just think for the Cincinnati Bengals, we're hearing that story over the offseason is they were even lucky to get into the Super Bowl, which I do kind of agree. They got lucky against the Las Vegas Raiders. They got, you have to get lucky to win in playoffs, to win a Super Bowl. You have to get lucky. They even got lucky against the Kansas City Chiefs for the Chiefs going for it, getting greedy. I think the 2 or 3 yard line, go instead of kicking a field goal at halftime. I just think a lot of stuff played out for the Cincinnati Bengals this year. Now, take away nothing from them. Joe Burrow, he is the real deal. He's a dog. I like him. I believe he will win a Super Bowl in the NFL eventually in this league. I just think Jamar Chase, he's their X factor here. What a rookie season Jamar Chase had last year, and I expect him to have another big year as well. Jamar Chase, he's the X factor. I think he's going to get calls, double teams, and really get other people open like T. Higgins. I think those type of guys, the tight ends, to get open for the Bengals. I think the Bengals are going to roll in this game and win this game ultimately, where Pittsburgh Steelers, yes, they did some draft picks, but they're going with Mitch Trubisky right now at starting quarterback, which I do think in a way is kind of like, I don't know about it. We saw Mitch Trubisky in Chicago, didn't succeed. Now he's in Pittsburgh. Is he going to succeed then? I don't know. It's a long shot. I think, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to develop here, but I can't wait to see what Pittsburgh's going to do come midseason when they get in their second stringers and everything else. I just don't see Mitch Trubisky being the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers all season. I just don't see it. What I saw in Chicago was just a questionable Mitch Trubisky. Didn't really read coverages right. Was kind of panicking at times. You cannot do that, man. If you're going to be a Super Bowl winning champion team, you cannot panic in the pocket. You can't get flustered or anything like that. But I'm going Cincinnati Bengals at 6.5. I like Joe Burrow. 44.5 is the over-under. I like the over as well, so I'll go with the over in Cincinnati Bengals at 6.5 all day, every day. And then we got the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Detroit Lions. Philadelphia's 4-point favorites coming in. I think Jalen Hurts, this is his biggest year yet. I say that about a lot of quarterbacks, but especially Jalen Hurts. What they did, the Philadelphia Eagles did in the offseason, got A.J. Brown. Yes, they already had Devontae Smith. I think these guys, man, the Philadelphia Eagles, their offense is going to be nice this year. And I think it starts with Jalen Hurts, and I think the defense will come around, whereas the Detroit Lions, they still got Jared Goff, got some new players, but ultimately I'm going Philadelphia Eagles at 4 here. I think Jalen Hurts, Hurts, he's going to have a breakout year. I think he's going to have an MVP-like year this year. I think it starts with their offensive line and everything that's going to develop with the receiving core and that stuff. But I like where it's going, so I'm going to go Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts all day in this matchup at 4. 48.5 is the over-under. That's a tricky bet. I'd probably go with the under in this matchup, but I like the Eagles to beat the Lions. And then we got the New England Patriots versus the Miami Dolphins. Look, Miami, they're three-point favorites. And what's crazy about this, actually 3.5-point favorites. What's crazy about this is, the Patriots have really got dominated the past couple times against the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins had their number. They just beat the Patriots, three times in a row in the head-to-head series overall. 59-54, Miami's up in this overall series against the Patriots. I mean, this is amazing to me. Mac Jones, he will be their starter, which, to me, it makes sense, in a way. But one of the things I was telling him about is, like, Bailey Zappi, this kid, dude, I'm telling you what, he can throw the ball. He can do a lot of different things. Expect to see Bailey Zappi get some playing time for the New England Patriots sometime this year. I really do believe that. I think, Mac Jones, he does a little bit, so much. He does everything by the book, I feel like. Always on time, does the right thing. But when it comes down to it, to make the big play, can you trust Mac Jones to do that? Can you trust Mac Jones to win you guys a Super Bowl? I don't know. I do know that Bailey Zappi is a baller. He can throw the ball down the field. He's not afraid to take hits. I like Bailey Zappi, and I think he's going to get some playing time in New England. I can't wait. Probably not this game, but I just think Miami, Tua, they got Jalen Waddle. He balled out last year, and they got Tyreek Hill, dude, from Kansas City. I think this is a huge pickup overall. I think, for Miami to scoop up Tyreek Hill was definitely a steal, and ultimately I'm going to probably, it breaks my heart to go New England in this matchup. I just think New England, what they got to bring to the table, I'm going with the underdogs New England. I think Bill Belichick's going to have a great defensive plan against Tua and the Miami Dolphins to shut him out in week 1, and I think Mac Jones is going to come to play. That's why I'm going New England Patriots. But like I said, I would love to see the New England Patriots lose this game. I really would. I want Miami to win, but ultimately I do think my heart's telling me to go New England Patriots in this matchup. 46.5 is the over-under. I'll probably go with the over, but I like New England Patriots with the upset. And then we got the Baltimore Ravens at the New York Jets. Baltimore Ravens, 7-point favorites. Lamar's locked in football, although this offseason they've been talking about Lamar's contract. What are they going to do? Are they going to sign him to a longer deal? What's going to happen with Lamar? I just think overall they will get Lamar's contract finished. They will do that. I do think they will complete that and get the business handled. On the flip side is like, what else does Lamar have on offense? They didn't really draft many players for Lamar, so I think Lamar's going to have a tough season, although I do think Lamar can still have an MVP-like season. When I say MVP-like, top 3 quarterbacks in the league, dude. That's what I mean by MVP-like. So I think Lamar this year, we're going to see a different side of Lamar. We're going to see a pass-first Lamar, and then he's going to eventually run, obviously, because he can do that. But I just think he's going to pass a little bit more than he's used to, and that's the new thing about Lamar is what we're going to see this year. And I think the Ravens are going to be a nice squad. I really do, and it starts with Lamar. If Lamar can stay healthy and not get hit a lot, I think the Ravens are definitely going to make the playoffs this year. Now, the Jets, Zach Wilson likely to miss opening game this season. I just think, dealing with the offseason, he did get hurt in a preseason game, Zach Wilson. Shout out to Zach Wilson. He's a dog. I won't even go there. But, I think Joe Flacco will end up starting this game. But I'm going Ravens here. I'm going Ravens at 7. I think Lamar's going to have a heyday. I don't think the Jets have an answer for Lamar Jackson. 44.5 is the over-under. I'll probably go with the under. I don't see the Jets scoring that many points without Zach Wilson. Yes, there's a possibility he could play. But if I'm the Jets head coach, I'm saying Zach, sit out this week and then come back 100% on week 2. That's what I would do, but I like the Ravens in this matchup. And then we got the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Washington Commanders. The Commanders are 2.5-point favorites, which kind of does make sense. Their draft, I'm telling you, Washington did well in the draft. They got Dotson from Penn State, that star-studded receiver. They still got Terry McLaurin. He's a beast receiver as well. They got Sam Howell, that quarterback from North Carolina who can throw the ball well, but I think Carson Wentz will start here. Yes, the old Indianapolis Colts quarterback. I do think Carson Wentz is washed up. I do think he's a subpar quarterback, ultimately. I really do. I think Carson Wentz can't even hit an open receiver. I think he will be benched eventually if he does start in the opening season in week 1. I just think, the Jacksonville Jaguars, a lot of question marks, right? And that's why I think they're coming in this game underdogs with Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence had a terrible year last year. It happens. I mean, we look at the great Peyton Manning. He had a terrible first year in the NFL. Terrible first year. And now look at him, dude. Hall of Famer, two-time Super Bowl champion. Dude, it's Peyton Manning. Shout out to Peyton Manning. He's the top dog. But I just think Trevor Lawrence, I do believe in him. I believe in his skills. I believe in some of the players that are coming back for Jacksonville. So, you know what? In this matchup, I'm going to go Jacksonville with the upset. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a breakout game here and start off the season, his second season in the NFL, fast and strong, and I think Jacksonville is going to jump off quick, so I'm going to go Jacksonville Jaguars with the upset. 44 is the over-under. That's a tricky one. I probably go with the over in this matchup. I think both offenses are going to throw the ball out, especially Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence, so I can't wait to see what the Jacksonville Jaguars look like with Trevor Lawrence, so I'm going Jags in week 1. And then we got the Cleveland Browns versus the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers, 1.5-point favorites. They got Baker Mayfield from Cleveland. Cleveland traded away Baker. Then they got Deshaun Watson. Now Deshaun Watson suspended 11 games. Who knows what's going to happen with all the sexual allegations dealing against Deshaun Watson? I don't know the story. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. It's going to be interesting to see how the NFL is going to play it out, come that week 11 or 12. It's going to be interesting, but I'm going Carolina here. I think Baker, first year with Carolina, with McCaffrey, I think McCaffrey could possibly come back player of the year this year. That's it given to me. I think if he stays healthy, McCaffrey will win comeback player of the year. I just think for the Browns, Jacoby Brissett, an old Indianapolis Colts quarterback, he's a nice quarterback, right? He's a fundamental quarterback. He's not the guy to really typically lose you a game, but he's also not a guy that is going to lead you to a Super Bowl as well either. So, Nick Chubb, another beast running back for the Browns, but I'm going Panthers here. Panthers at home, 1.5. I think Baker Mayfield, he's going to be hungry here. He's going to kind of feel like he got betrayed in a way, dealing with the Cleveland Browns. They really didn't do a lot of different things for him. Yes, they did get Odell Beckham. That's about it, though. Who else did they have? Yes, they had Landry, but I just think overall, the bigger picture, the Cleveland Browns did not do enough to help Baker Mayfield. And on the flip side is Baker Mayfield, his weakness is throwing the ball deep down the field accurately. That's his weakness. Hopefully he's worked on it this offseason, but I'm still going Carolina Panthers. I think Baker and McCaffrey are going to be the difference maker in that Carolina defense, so I'm going Carolina Panthers. And then we got the New York Giants versus the Tennessee Titans. Titans are 5.5-point favorites. Coming to this game, Daniel Jones, I think he's weak for the Giants, man. I think he's trash. Saquon Barkley, I expect him to have a bounce-back year. He did tear his ACL about a season and a half ago. I expect him to get back to that Saquon Barkley that we saw before the draft. That's Saquon Barkley. But Ryan Tannehill, he could get benched halfway through the season. I think this guy, Malik Willis, the quarterback that they picked up, in the draft, late in the draft, the Tennessee Titans, I think this is going to be a great pickup long term. I really do believe this. I think Malik will get some touches here, and obviously I think the best running back in the league, pound for pound, Derrick Henry, is why I picked him up on my fantasy football league, because he's getting 20-plus carries a game, dude. He's getting 20-plus, and I think he can break arm tackles. He can get you the extra yards, the extra touchdowns, so that's why I love Derrick Henry, but I would not be surprised if Ryan Tannehill eventually gets benched and Malik Willis comes in, because we saw Ryan Tannehill last year against Cincinnati in the playoffs really lose him that game through a couple bad balls. I just think overall Malik Willis is the real deal. I can't wait to see what the Titans hold, but I gotta go Titans here at 5.5. I haven't seen enough of the Giants right now to say, hey, yeah, Daniel Jones, he's a baller. I saw him last year. The Giants were terrible. Ever since ever since Eli Manning's retired, that's been it for the Giants, dude. They haven't been good since. So, and I think this year nothing's really gonna change. They still got similar guys there, so they're gonna be trash. But I like the Tennessee Titans here. 43.5 is the over/under. I'd probably go with the under, but I like the Tennessee Titans here. I think the Titans are a run-first team with Derrick Henry. I can't wait to see what the Titans do this year, but I definitely like them to beat the Giants in the season opener. Then we got Green Bay versus Minnesota. Green Bay's 1.5-point favorites here. I think this game is more of a coin flip game to me. Aaron Rodgers did win MVP last year. He's got 3 total in his career, but I think the downside for the Green Bay Packers is Davante Adams leaving. Them getting rid of Davante Adams was a terrible thing for Aaron Rodgers. Now Aaron Rodgers is throwing to a bunch of nobodies we don't even know of yet. So it's just like, dang, dude. Now, do I doubt that? No. I think Aaron Rodgers is still going to ball out, still going to have 3 to 4 touchdowns a game. Absolutely. I just think Green Bay's defense and special teams are their weakness. I don't know what's going to change in the past year. I don't know. Hopefully something's changed, but I think Minnesota, Kirk Cousins, a 1-year deal, staying there. They still got Dalvin Cook, a lot of the similar Jefferson, the receivers. You know what? On a limb, I want to go Minnesota Vikings. I really do. But I can't count out Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is too talented, and I've said this before and said it again, that Aaron Rodgers should have at least 2 to 3 Super Bowl championships. Really, he's too talented to just have one. Aaron Rodgers is way too talented, and I think, Green Bay's got to do something to help him out, that organization, to get better players, the better receivers for him. But, at the end of the day, right now on paper, I'm going Minnesota. Now, come game time, I might change my pick and go Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. Right now, I'd probably go Minnesota because, like I said, I don't know much about Green Bay yet. I really don't. And Green Bay lost to Minnesota last year as well, so it's going to be a tough game for both teams. But I would love to see Aaron Rodgers start off fast. But I think Minnesota could steal this game at home and play well and beat Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. And then we got Kansas City versus Arizona Cardinals. Kansas City 6.5-point favorites here. Patrick Mahomes, a huge year for him. No more Tyreek Hill. Yes, you still have your boy Travis Kelce, but with Tyreek Hill, yes, they added Juju Smith, but it's just like, come on, man. We're talking about Tyreek Hill here. He was their cheetah. He was their long ball guy. I just think right now it's going to be really a downside for the Kansas City Chiefs losing him. On the flip side, Kyler Murray coming back, big year last year. I think even bigger year this year. DeAndre Hopkins has a 6-game suspension. That's going to hurt. They have J.J. Watt coming back, Zach Ertz. Arizona's going to be nice, but I think Kansas City, this game's going to have something to prove. And I'm going Kansas City. I probably want to go 6.5. I'd probably go money line Kansas City overall, but I just think, Arizona has some injuries they're battling with. And like I said, DeAndre Hopkins out for 6 games. It's really going to hurt them in their first 6 games. I mean, dude, DeAndre Hopkins, he's a top 5 receiver in the league, no doubt. So Arizona losing him, dude, it's going to be tough. I just think Kansas City, they're going to be ready to play this year. Same thing with Arizona, but I'm going Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes. I can't wait to see what happens there. And then we got the Las Vegas Raiders versus the LA Chargers. This is a huge game. The Chargers are 3-point favorites. We saw the battle, the last game of the season to get in the playoffs. The Raiders came out on top, but a lot of people are picking Justin Herbert to win MVP this year. And I would not disagree. I think Justin Herbert, he is legit. He can throw the ball down the field. He's young. He can run. He can do a lot of different things, but, it's going to be really a long shot to win MVP here. There's so many good guys in the league. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, like Josh Allen, dude. Yeah, like, dude, there's so many, Lamar Jackson, so many good players out there. But I just think, yes, they got Mike Williams, Allen back at receiver. But, for the Las Vegas Raiders, they added Davante Adams. Davante Adams and Derek Carr, they played 2 years in college together at Fresno State. They had 38 touchdowns together and over 3,000 passing yards together, dude. So I think this duo right here, Davante Adams and Derek Carr, are going to light it up. And I'm going to go to Las Vegas Raiders here with the upset here. I think the Las Vegas Raiders, them two alone, Derek Carr, Davante Adams, they still got they got Waller coming back at tight end. I'm telling you, the Raiders are going to be nice this year. A lot of defensive players are coming back. I just think them getting Davante Adams is such a plus on the Raiders, dude. That's what they needed. They need another offensive threat guy like that. So 38 touchdowns in college together, dude. This is no joke. I think they're going to ball out in the league. I think this duo is going to have a great season this year. Mark my words. I do believe that the Las Vegas Raiders will make the playoffs this year. You guys mark my words. I do as well as with the LA Chargers, but I'm going Las Vegas Raiders all day here in this matchup. Then we got the Monday Night Football game, the Denver Broncos versus the Seattle Seahawks. Denver Broncos 6.5-point favorites. It makes sense to me. They got Russell Wilson in Denver now. The Seattle Seahawks released them. It kind of sucks for Seattle, right? I mean, this will be the first time Russell Westbrook's in Seattle in a different uniform. It's going to be different on Monday Night Football. On the flip side, Seattle has Drew Lock and Geno Smith. But I just think that's not enough. I really do. I don't think that's enough to really overcome that. So I'm going to go Denver Broncos at 6.5. I think Russell Wilson's going to exploit Seattle's defense. He's seen it time and time again. Been with this Seattle for about a decade. So really familiar with him and Pete Carroll. It's just different. You know, now they're competing against each other. So it's going to be iconic. It's going to be a great Monday Night Football game. But I cannot wait, man. The NFL is back. You know, my Indianapolis Colts, I expect them to have a big year. They will make the playoffs this year. That is my lock team to make the playoffs is definitely the Indianapolis Colts. I cannot wait. But these are some of my picks. Now, my picks might change come game time, but right now, these are my picks. I cannot wait. The NFL is here, baby. It's the Clown with Cab show. Let's go!